Good afternoon. My name's Philip Kesler, and if you haven't gotten a chance to check out my Tai Chi Serenity Valley playlist, I teach Tai Chi, and particularly I teach Tai Chi online to veterans and um, other helpers. And if you like, go to that playlist and check out some of the resources there. Also, there are other playlists to help you with your health, with trauma resources, uh, Chinese medicine, acupuncture, help you develop your chi and your overall health. But I also, among other things, am a poet, and I had a site for a while called Soundsfeelings.org. I've had to take that site down for a number of reasons, mainly which it was just way too expensive to maintain. I haven't put it back anywhere yet, and but I thought that instead of putting it up in a kind of a static way, that I might read my poetry out loud. And so this is the first of a series of videos that I will be putting together of my original poetry, all original poetry written by me, and so thus it doesn't need to be said, but I will say it. All the rights and royalties and all of that sort of thing, copyright does belong to me and resides with me, and while I'm honored if you wanted to use some of my poems in something, please make sure that you attribute me as the author of these works. And so I hope it'll be enjoyable to you. These subjects are a variety of different subjects, some of which are romantic, some of which are serious, dramatic, um, some of which are uh, very serious in nature, talk about trauma. Um, and so, really, I would classify all of my poetry in the young adult to mature adult category, uh, and uh, and so not all of them, some of them contain a trigger warning. And so, if I think about it, I will mention those specific ones that might come with a trigger warning. Uh, so some of you might be sensitive to those things. Um, you might want to skip ahead um, in some places. I myself am a um, trauma survivor. I was a victim of childhood sexual abuse and also am surviving PTSD from wartime experience. So, without further ado, I will begin reading and hope you enjoy what you have to hear. And I will probably leave the comments on as long as they are friendly, constructive, and positive. Uh, I don't need a lot of negative criticism in my life, and so if the comments get all negative, I'll just turn them off because, frankly, at this point in my life, I don't really care. Um, I'm doing this because I love what I do, and so I do hope you enjoy it. Uh, Here we go. Ambition. You are born with it. It guides so much of your life. But what happens when it's gone, runs out, goes away, dries up, and the dreams that moved you to action just stop? You have no purpose, no clear direction, no focus. You are not even sure what you want, who you are, where you are going, or if you have any energies left to give. Nothing has flavor. taste, color, smell, all is gray. How can you find your way back? How can you find where your ambition went and retrieve it once it has been lost? Popular slogans, mottos, find your true self, be true to who you are, can be heard everywhere. What is my true self? What do I want? Who or what do I serve? What is my purpose? How can I be me without hurting others? Ambition is a cruel master, for it can drive us to something, but it can also drive us away from others. Most of my life, I thought ambition was my friend, my needed ally. He kept me focused along the career path, doing all the expected things, keeping up with appearances, following the rules. Now I know I can no longer follow all the rules. Keeping up appearances no longer serves me. I no longer believe in those things that were expected. What seemed firm and steady is corrupt and rotten. What could be trusted has failed. The question is, do I want ambition? Does it serve my interests, or does it really exist to keep everyone in line, to serve those bankrupt interests and purposes? Is ambition of the heavens or the nether worlds below? You must decide. Metamorphosis. Once upon a time, I was something tangible. I had a job, a purpose, recognizable, understandable, a salary, a career. I was healthy, or so I thought. I was something and knew who I was and why. Then, when I was not expecting it, it all stopped. It all came crashing down. There was no job, no purpose, no salary. My mind started to break down, my health deteriorating. Things I thought I could count on, people I thought would be there, support for me, disappeared. Nobody understood me, what I was doing, where I was going, least of all myself. It took some time to realize that change was happening to me, in the same way that carbon is transformed into diamonds. A metamorphosis was occurring. I felt the heat, the pressure, the pain, the crushing of what was, unbearable in anguish. Words cannot express, only feelings. Radical transformation from something into something else entirely cannot be understood except by those that have been transformed, those that have undergone their own metamorphosis, those that have been changed, have a language of their own. Empathy and love are communicated. Acceptance without judgment is understood. For the crushing and pain reveals both the good and the bad, makes bare that which was hidden in the dark. The transformed speaks the tongue of compassion without conditions, a language the normal cannot fathom. Climb that mountain. Before dawn, setting out, air crisp and cool, driving up through winding roads, curves and bends, twists and turns, climbing into the heights until there is no road left, only trails. Final checks, backpack secured. The true climb begins. As the sun appears, a gentle slope ascending, rocks and trees, some moments of sunshine mixed with moments of shade, curves and bends, twists and turns, A field of flowers appears with a stream through it. Take a moment to rest, to breathe, to soak in the sunshine, to absorb the beauty in this place. Time is not so important here, not today. At the right moment, leaving behind the idyllic place, the climb continues, walking below the crest of the mountain, ever closer to the top. The air is getting thinner, legs feel heavier, the backpack seems heavier. The trail is following the slope, trees are becoming fewer as the scenery below appears. The view of hundreds of miles, distant mountains and cities are revealed. Along the footpath, encountering yet more curves and bends, twists and turns in shaded areas. The remaining patches of snow in sunny areas, some fresh wild blackberries. A few appear missing. Bears have been where you are now. They are not here now. You are safe. Just a little farther, just around the bend, you have reached the peak. Time to rest and celebrate. You have arrived. Time to eat, to enjoy the moment, to linger in the fresh air. Bright sun, the view, unimpeded from any obstacles, incredible. Only clouds and majestic birds are where you are now. Time appears to slow down. Will your restless mind relax in this place of natural wonder? Or are you yet agitated, needing to do something, decide something? Will you camp here and stay a while? Or must you rush off, descending to meet another deadline, to attend another meeting, to fulfill an obligation? Can't you just remain a bit longer, to be present with yourself, to be present for another? Where will you find peace? Where will you find rest? Among the curves and bends and twists and turns of daily life? Where can you relax? In places of natural wonder? Where can you be present for yourself or present for another? If not on the mountain top, then where? Just take a walk in the woods. Go sit in a park. Stand on top of a skyscraper or go climb that mountain. Listening to frogs at night. As evening comes, sunlight fading, dark envelops. At first there's silence, light from the fireflies, twinkles here and there, then it starts. Quietly at first, one or two frogs singing their song from the pond, the bass and tenor, reptiles croak, then the tree frogs join in, a choir of sopranos and altos adding melody to the harmony, to the pond of bullfrog singers. Perhaps an hour, maybe two passes. Amphibian choirs are enthusiastic, loud, even deafening. On occasion, a lone owl cries out, calling out from his perch, barely audible. For clearly tonight and many nights to come, the frogs have dominion over the sounds of the night. Flower neglected. The flower neglected, rejected, alone, beautiful, damaged, watered only occasionally and kept in the dark. Cruel owners tried to kill the plant by pruning it, kept it away, barely surviving. Others fed it, then pruned it close to death. Holding on, it got some water here and water there, and rains came from heaven. Sunbeams found the withered petals and brought it back to life. The flower flourished and began to blossom, grew roots, grew tall, blossomed so fast in so many directions that it needed some skillful pruning. It hurt, but was needed to cut away dead petals, dead branches, making room for the new, fresh, new, healthy, vital, bright, to bloom, to multiply, to grow, to provide pollen for bees and other plants, to provide seed to multiply, to share its beauty for all the world to see. This next poem is called Just a Little Girl, and this contains a trigger warning. There was a place, not so nice. There were some people, hard-working kind. There was a house where crying was heard, sometimes screaming. Living across the street was just a little girl playing and watching, curious. Sometimes a woman or her daughter would come outside. Sometimes they had bruises, cuts. She worked hard, washing clothes, cooking, going to market, always busy. The little girl could hear a man growling like a bear, yelling at the woman, or the daughter, or both. She only saw his face if they did not come soon enough. One day when the little girl was watching, her mom came up to give her a hug and see what she was doing. "What is wrong with that family?" she asked her mother. Her mother picked her words carefully, replied, "I don't really know, but maybe the man drinks too much." "Does he hit them, Mom?" the little girl asked, seeing her girl was observant. "Maybe so," was her answer. "Mom, what can we do to stop it?" asked the little girl. "I don't know," the mom said sadly. "When I'm a big girl, I'm going to make it stop," said the little girl. Years went by. The little girl became a teen, always watching that house, observing the family. She asked her teachers what could be done. They told her about social workers, mental health workers, police, and lawyers. She learned about domestic violence in special classes. The teen began to study hard. She made good grades. She also met the mother and her daughter when her parents were at work one day. She heard about their suffering. She asked why they didn't leave the bad man. She saw how afraid they were of him, and what he might do to them. The teen graduated high school, now an adult, studied in college. Every class she could take, they would help her understand what to do, how to help. Whenever she returned to her home, she watched that house. When it was safe, she said hi to the neighbor woman and her teen daughter, noticing new bruises, new cuts, new hurts. Graduating with a double major in counseling and social work, the adult woman returned to her hometown. She walked into the social work department, where she told the story of the family she knew so well. Together they formed a team to help this family. The adult woman was so relieved. "How long have you wanted to do something?" the senior caseworker asked. "I was just a little girl," she replied. Comfort Zone. On a perfect hill lies a quaint cottage, with a lovely view of nature's store. Though the location be somewhat remote, Online work and Amazon are just a click away. No need to leave home. Work and Netflix, eat and sleep. The perfect prison here to keep. Yet true freedom awakes. A short distance away, there is a bridge near a river at the bottom of the hill, visible from the cottage, where the bridge goes exactly as uncertain, but there is a certain risk involved. Love, happiness, fulfillment could be found on the other side of the bridge. To stay is to court regret, sadness, remain stagnant and stable and comfortable. Courage and faith are required to escape the comfort zone, its bounds. Round table needed. No government has a will to help. Media sees nothing, hears nothing, reports nothing of value. Police are told not to protect. Pastors cannot be trusted to shield the helpless, the homeless, the abused, the widow, the orphan, the foreigner. Perhaps old ways should be considered. It's time to summon forth a new order of knights, formed in the spirit of Barnabas, to encourage the helpless and give them hope, to find refuge, safe harbor. Let us form a new round table that will do what others cannot or will not do. Love God, serve others, sacrifice for the defenseless, champions of old-fashioned values, humility and gratitude, courage and justice, generosity and discipline, faith and equality, love and death. Would there be worthy candidates of such a vocation today? Come forth and be recognized. There is much work to be done. Subtle, a glance at a coffee shop, a smile at a party, a touch in passing, a conversation in a store, twirling hair, confident stance, leaning in, primping, a brush of hands, awkward passing in a hall, locked gazes for a bit too long, asking for help or directions, knowing there was a personal touch added, tension in the air. Did he notice? Did she notice? Did others notice? Was the gesture completely missed? There is always a risk of being too obvious, of being ignored, of being missed. The joy of communicating and being understood without words, only gestures or movements, of being oneself naturally, is itself a reward. Thus, an effort is made to send a message every day, everywhere, to someone, to say, I noticed you today. I hope you enjoyed that collection of poems. I'll be making another video very soon, and so stay tuned for volume 2 of my original poems. Thank you. God bless.